mug, hanging out for a little while anyway before I go and take a shower. I've got the Wookiee mascot behind me. He's on the floor. I'm being stared at. He just barked at the garbage man. Life is good. You guys know the rules. I won't get into it. So today I want to talk a little bit about what to expect. We have a month and a half. It is September 2nd, 2021. And in less than 2 months, a month and a half, within the next 6 weeks, morning Jeremy, we should know what's going on. Now, you gotta understand, this is some advice for people. The ones screaming about, Dave Filoni bent the knee, duh. No, he didn't. Or not Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau. No, he didn't. He didn't. He didn't. He did what a professional would do. Okay? I am sure you guys would be very shocked to see how congenial he and Kathy Kennedy really are to each other. The door shuts, they're separated, and then the bitch fest starts. Okay? That's how it goes. You do not behave the way the fans would want you to if you want to succeed in Hollywood. Okay? You just don't. It's politics. And it takes a certain person with a certain thick rhino skin to be able to do it and to be able to work with people they hate. I mean, I'm going to tell you something. The more accolades Kathy Kennedy gets from Favreau and Filoni, the more obvious it is, to me anyway, that they hate each other. All right? I know, shocking, but it's true. Let's move on here. We've got that. So there's going to be a lot more coming out. There's going to be a lot of weird stuff going on, and it's going to probably look like it's going back and forth, but I really don't see it. And like I said, and like Doomcock mentioned, and I've heard this from other people, by the 20th, Morning Vader fan, if they don't announce her being resigned, I mean, they can announce it any day, okay? But if they don't announce it within the next 6 weeks, it ain't gonna happen. Of course, we could get shocked. They could do it and not announce anything, period. And that could be a strategy they would do. But I don't see, with the restructuring going on at Lucasfilm, and we see it. We've seen it. You can't deny that there's shit going down. It's like Filoni gets a promotion. Mohsen Gupta, just this woman, we don't know who the hell she is, shows up. We get Taika Waititi saying Lucasfilm is restructuring, so I don't know where my movie's going to be. And then later talks about it like it's still in development. But, good morning, Space Monk. But you can't deny there's something going on. And another thing, to the people who don't think that there was ever a civil war going on at Lucasfilm, all right, I'm not going to attack your IQ. But if you can sit there and say, what do you think is going on? You want proof? You want fucking proof? Here's your fucking proof. Gina Carano. That's it. That's all I need. That's direct evidence. Okay? Let's talk about more evidence. The fact that Pablo Hidalgo doesn't seem like he's part of Lucasfilm anymore. He's on the outside looking in. And this is, it's patently obviously something's going on there. What he said to people on what he said to people who were talking to him about Filoni is very, very interesting to me because I have to say that I'm firmly convinced that he is part of he's part of this. He's part of the attacks on Filoni and Favreau. He said something that was very interesting to me about not following things that interest him. And I'm going to find it again if I can. It was a guy named Sway. And of course, you know, he's got all these people. He's done. I know he's done. I mean, but I want you to understand that he was part of the people that actually attacked Gina Carano. He was one of the people that actually started it. And I wouldn't even doubt that the Kelly Marie Tran stuff on Wikipedia, because Wikipedia is tweeting him. They were part of it. But it's really interesting to me how a guy like this can say he loves something, and yet everything he's done has been to destroy it. And I want to say that this is proof that there's something going on. And his name is going to be they're going to announce that he's gone. And I hope the prick is watching. He has caused an inordinate amount of problems for people. You know, the verbal attacks towards the fans are beyond the beyond, as Andrew Breitbart would say. And it, you know, it's obvious now to me that he is not part of this. And if he is not part of this, the woke agenda at Star Wars is dead. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, that doesn't mean it's going to be, oh God, Phil Stozak. God, I hate him. The guy that took over, basically writing the behind the scenes stuff in the art books for Lucasfilm is a woke prick. And I wouldn't have hired him to wash my dog's ass, let alone he's just a dick. And he's not, he's not a good guy, and he's not a good representative for Star Wars. The thing about the previous generation, even if they were boomers, is that they were able to act like grown-ups, most of them. There are some boomers who can't. I've known some. I've actually, you know, have them in my family. And it's really, you kind of just shake your head and go, what? For a lot of this. I got to find this. Come on, man. Where is this? But I want you guys to read this because I missed it yesterday and I didn't. Ah, there's Leland. Oh, okay, here we go. This guy named Andrew. And then, of course, all right, now I want you to show this. I want to show this to you. So we got this. That's supposed to be Dave Filoni. Then we got Matt saying, yeah, it's best if you skip right over the Dave Filoni discourse for the next few days. It's been nasty. And then Pablo says, I blessedly follow nothing related to my interests. Wonder why? Because he's probably part of the attacks. This is an obvious, he's bitter about, he's got pure envy. He's got career envy. Hey, nearsighted Cyclops. He's envious as hell um, of Dave Filoni. And this is interesting, just this. On the outside looking in, huh, Pablo? Huh, you piece of shit? I mean, he is as ugly on the outside as he is on the inside. I mean, he could look like Harrison Ford and ruin that. So yeah, there is something definitely going on, and he's part of it. There's something definitely going on. I want to say that when it's announced that she's done and all the layoffs are announced, all hell is gonna break loose. Okay, all hell is gonna break loose. You cannot attack the fans and not expect eventually to earn your karma points. Okay, you just can't. And here's something else that has occurred to me. I was just talking to Ms. Mazeris about this. In fact, he brought it up. We fans within the community that hates what Hidalgo and his ilk, the scum, have done to Star Wars, okay? We hate it. And we're also divided. There's a group of fans, it's not a big group, but there's a group of fans, it's very loud, very obnoxious, that hate The Mandalorian and hate Dave Filoni for no reason. Nothing good, they can't come up with anything good. Their hearts are in the right place. We want Han and Leia to be fixed. We want Luke to be fixed. We want Jaina and Jason Solo. They want everything verbatim. They believe, and you can't, you can have somebody that knows George Lucas intimately, Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, whatever, say to them, we like the EU, but it's not canon. And they would sit there and say, you lie. But it's not. There are parts that can be brought into canon, okay? And we all know what they are, Heir to the Empire. There are characters that should be brought into canon. Jaina, Jason, the kids. Okay, Mara Jade, should she be Luke's girlfriend, or should Luke actually be an actual real Jedi? Luke doesn't need a girlfriend as far as I'm concerned. But you'd have to sit there and think about Yoda, about Ben Kenobi, about the things that Ben Kenobi gave up. All right? Satine. Ben Kenobi and Yoda. You're right, Angelique. Ben Kenobi and Yoda were the ultimate Jedis. They were the ones that trained Luke. Anakin didn't. And look at the mistakes Anakin made because he went against their teachings. Even Qui-Gon Jinn didn't form attachments with people. All right? This is the thing that people have to understand, is that you could have a Mara Jade. No, it's not. Just don't see it. I mean, it doesn't exist in my world. I just skip right over it like it's not there. It's not difficult at all. You gotta let it go. All right. But we are going to have trouble. In the next month and a half, we're going to see more roilings from Crazy Pablo, his wife. Let's see what she's doing. Let's see what that crazy bitch is doing. We haven't done this in a while, have we? So we know that she worked for Lucasfilm as an event planner. I still can't get over this. You don't get to hate it unless you love it. Oh, so it's okay for me to fucking hate the goddamn sequel trilogy because it shits all over Star Wars. Okay, cool, bitch. This is how stupid she is. I don't know what words mean, obviously. Okay, so let's look at her bio. San Francisco by way of Massachusetts, Art College and Culinary School. Now I work with words. She has her pronouns up. And she was, where did they go to dinner? Antonio's. Huh, I wonder where that is. If it's in San Francisco, I actually might have eaten there once. But she, oh, she must be in Massachusetts. She must be in Massachusetts, and Pablo might be there too. But I honestly think that he is definitely involved in trying to undermine what Dave and John are doing. And if he is, and he's, I mean, when he said, I follow nothing that interests me, bullshit. I guarantee you, if you looked on his secret squirrel account that isn't that secret, because any one of those 600 people that follow him could out him, you really, I gotta say this, you really, really, really have to be dumb to think anything you put on Twitter under a secret account won't get out there eventually. You really have to be that fucking stupid. I'm not kidding. You really have to be that fucking stupid. I guarantee you he's saying everything that he would be saying in public if he was allowed to. And you know, this he's very vague in the public account, but it's pretty obvious that he's not part of this anymore. And what's really interesting is I think there are people who are good people at Lucasfilm that won't leave, like Leland Chee, he shouldn't, who probably feel sorry for the prick. My thing is, dude, you've done so much damage to the brand by being a fucking troll yourself. Troy, you know, why would you ever care about, he needs to go back to Chile and save it. Okay. All right. Well, Space Monk, no, not necessarily. There are people out there within the fandom who hate what's going on with Star Wars, but they're so negative and they want to believe in the worst. They want to believe that nothing good happens. Oh no, Space Monk, it's okay, don't worry. They want to believe that, Kennedy's this all powerful Black Widow. Okay? They can't believe that somebody would come in and say, this is fucking over. And what's really weird, it's the guy who started this shit by letting her do whatever she wanted, Bob Iger. This shit started in 2018. This shit started when Solo failed, okay? Unbelievable. But that's when it started. And it's really interesting to me watching what's going on now. And watching, and if you guys hit the shares, that'll help the algorithm. So if you share it out, this is great. People just can't believe it. These are, but also there's a contingent of fans that depend on negativity for their livelihood. I mean, there are people out there that just make money making YouTube videos. Okay. It's like, get a job, get a real job. That true, Troy, but it's usually nothing like we've seen. This is literally for the soul of the franchise, and the good guys obviously won. It's really interesting to me how this is all happening at at the uh, at the level it did, and how long it took for Bob Iger to pay attention and go, "Oh shit," you know. He really honestly didn't thought that if they did Star Wars any way they wanted to, that it couldn't fail. That's like, I'll give you an example. That's like taking a good, solid, sound of mind, clear headed trail horse or lesson horse, bomb proof, they call them, and bringing them out and basically saying, we'll put this goofball on his back and he'll be fine. And the horse doesn't move. I've seen this happen. I have seen a horse that you could get him to do anything. I put a beginner on who's terrified and he just stands there. She's an idiot. She's freaking me out. I'm not moving. All right. You know, if you think that you don't have to follow the universal rules and they didn't, the fans are going to know. And it's not the fans' fault. You fucked up. It is not my fault. Not, my friend Maze's fault. Not my friend Craig's fault. Not Dave's fault. Not Troy's fault. Not my dog's fault. It is your fault, Pablo. Your fault, Ryan. Your fault, Kathy, that this is fucked up. We didn't like it. And instead of going, oh God, our bad, we'll fix it, you called us names and tried to fit a narrative around us to make yourselves look better than you are. Because the only ists and phobes are the ones that are pointing their fingers at fans for not liking some dumpster fire of a movie, or 3 of them, 4 of them, 4, and trying to fashion a narrative. Here's the deal. That's not how it works. That is not how it works. Okay? You have to do it well. The fans notice. I know fans that know a hell of a lot more about Star Wars than Pablo Fat-Ass Hidalgo. Okay? I do. The fact is, he's sitting there on his little, like my dad used to call them mud turtles, stump riders. He's sitting there on his stump, firing, sniping at Dave Filoni, because Dave Filoni actually gets it. He gets it. Meanwhile, we're still having to live with this guy sniping around the edges with these people. They need to be put in their boxes. And they need to be shoved aside and not silenced. I would never silence anybody unless they wanted to be silenced. Okay. Space Windu, they did it to Han first. Okay, they did it to Han first. So you guys were all ignoring everything they did to Solo. Drunk, deadbeat, dad, Han Solo. Average Skywalker fan. Oh my God, look what they did to Luke. This was coming. This was coming. Why? Because Han and Luke don't fit into their narrative. He might be a lore historian, but I honestly don't know if he's still at. Yeah, that's part of it. Space Windu. Drunk, deadbeat, dad, Han Solo. They weren't divorced. Where is it in canon? He didn't come home. I fucking hate that when idiot fans say shit like that. Where is it? Where? It's nowhere, is it? So stop saying that. That is not correct. You know, I was in shock. I yelled, Chewie, kill that faggot. And I yelled that out loud. And there were women screaming. And you don't walk out of a Star Wars movie going, like you just seen like you just seen. You don't walk out of a Star Wars movie like you walk out of fucking Schindler's List. Okay? TFA was a fucking dumpster fire from beginning to end. Okay? No shit, Space Windy, we know that. All right? TFA was a dumpster fire. See, I don't think she should ever be a Jedi. Yeah, disappointing, GS. Disappointing. You know, it's not about Luke. It's about the whole fucking thing. It's about the whole fucking thing. From the moment TFA started with characters we didn't give a shit about, including Finn. I didn't care about Finn the moment I saw him. Well, she didn't need to be a Jedi. And that was one of the things I would have said. No, he is my favorite character. All right? And you guys just ignoring what happened to him is like, and then y'all whining about Luke. It's like, you didn't see this coming. You didn't see this coming. I can't say anything. I'm literally shocked at the witlessness that goes on at times. I'm literally, no, you're just talking too much, GS. You're just, and not thinking. The witlessness, it's like, oh, like I said, you shouldn't walk out of the first Star Wars movie in a trilogy and feel like you just saw fucking Schindler's List. Finn sucks. Rey sucks. Kylo Ren should have been an abortion. He was an abortion. That didn't happen. And I don't believe in abortion. But it's like, look, you have this kid, this is what he's going to do. All right, we'll get rid of it. All right. He's going to end up being dead anyway. But there's only one. And the fact that they only have one. I come from a family of 9. All right. The fact that they had 3, a pair of twins and one other one. I mean, when I look at that, I think there should have been at least 6. Hey, Kev. Okay, we got a dog guarding the house. Now he's coming back in here. And herein lies the problem. There's nothing they can do that can defend what they did. Okay? And I think every actor who is part of this, including the ones that played the sequel trilogy heroes, knows that. They know that. I got a dog right here. He's a good boy too. And this is why all this shit's going on. And instead of, I would say, going out of their way to apologize and to fix what was broken, they doubled down. They doubled down with, oh, we're doing good. The rain around here ended, and it's a beautiful day. I'm gonna take dipshit for a walk pretty soon and get some calories burned, and we'll go do that. And yeah, but it's still, it's you walk out of Schindler's List, you're like, it's still really hard to take. And there's, JJ's like, because they banked on nostalgia. Yeah, you too, man. They banked on nostalgia. And there's a certain way of doing it. And from what I've heard, Ghostbusters 3 Afterlife does it right. You have to do a soft handoff. You can't just go, we'll kill him, we'll humiliate, turn him into an asshole, we'll humiliate, turn him into an asshole, and we'll turn her into Mary Poppins, and everybody will be happy. All right, if anybody tells me that Kathy Kennedy is in any way creative, no, she's not. And she's, part of it, but Bob Iger is ultimately at fault. He didn't know what he was getting. He thought they could do anything they wanted and the fans would come. They didn't expect the outrage. Yeah, the Cobra Kai writers get it right. There's a way of doing things to respect what came before it and to add to it without destroying everything. There's a conversation going on about this generation coming up, and I mean millennials and the Zoomers. These are people who've never actually had to suffer. They've never suffered in their lives. They're narcissists. They've been raised to think the world revolves around them. And these three movies were made to celebrate the fact that you find me a Zoomer, you find me a millennial that likes these movies that have ever attempted to really work on anything in their lives. That have really gone out on a limb and suffered for a goal. They haven't. Their parents have raised them too safe. Their parents have raised them too comfortable. They've never, literally had anything personally happen to them that would be a life-defining moment. And this, and this is another thing, and they get defended. This shit gets defended because they can't understand why we're not going away. We're not. All right. We're not going away. And they have to understand that we're not going away. And like I said, though, we are going to see a lot of shit go down. This stuff with Plo Koon, and I'm still not sure what the Dave Filoni thing was. And let me find this guy. Let me find this, because I really need someone to help me. This guy right here. I want someone to ask him what he's talking about. And I know for a fact that Pablo is behind it. That's what this all is. Pablo is behind it. That's what this all is. And what's interesting is that they're going to try to say it's us saying that it should have been Plo Koon. That's what they're doing. But I want to know what this is about. Because, again, no one has done anything, and I can't go on Twitter. Or I would ask, what the fuck are you talking about? All right. I can go on Dave Filoni's Twitter. Let's do that. All right, he hasn't been on Twitter since, wow. He has not tweeted since 2020, Christmas Day 2020. That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. And he hasn't changed anything in his profile. So if you honestly think that he gives a shit about what's going on Twitter, he doesn't. All right, he doesn't. But again, this shit, whatever it is going down, is caused by Pablo, and we're gonna see more. Scorched earth mode, yeah, and yet I think he's pissed off at her too. I when you look at, if you remember the Reddit leak, both I've talked to Cameron Pasha at length about the Reddit leak. The Reddit leak, basically there was two of them. The one basically saying, "Oh no, there's no civil war." This thing looked like it came right off of Kathy Kennedy's desk. Oh yeah, you're right, man. Don't do it. It's a shithole. That came right off of Kathy Kennedy's desk. The second one throws Pablo Hidalgo and Jason Ward together under the bus. Hey Dosbury, how you doing? It's okay, don't worry. Throwing Pablo under the bus with Jason Ward. I always thought that there was a connection between Jason Ward and Hidalgo. We know there is one between Pablo and Steele Saunders because Pablo, with your Snooks Theories sucks stickers, and that was something that Steele Saunders was selling to people. And he obviously gave a bunch to Pablo and Rian Johnson. And basically, I look at The Last Jedi as one big goddamn troll. That's what it is. It's one big goddamn troll. They spent $225 million to troll millions and millions and millions of fans. Think about it. But that's exactly what The Last Jedi was. It was a great, great big troll. And I do believe that he has been part of the attacks on the fans. I mean, you look at his public profile. He's pro-Antifa. He's pro-Black Lives Matters. I think Hidalgo will end up probably working with Rian Johnson. You know, my thing is this. If you're so goddamn talented and creative, go and make your own space opera. Create your own thing. And incorporate all the bullshit you believe. Okay, do it. So we can all see it. Okay, just go out and do it so we can all see it. That's what I want to see. Okay, that's what I want to see them do. Okay, all they can do is latch onto something like a tick, like a parasite, and suck it dry. That's all they know how to do. They can't create their own shit. They've never been taught to think objectively. And when you get someone who's an ideologue writing a franchise, their shit is going to come out in the writing. Okay, it just is. And that's the problem that we had with the sequel trilogy and with Solo. John Kasdan with Solo didn't even want to do the movie. And he did it. It sucked. I have yet to see him write, get another feature film out there. Since then, think about it. Anyway, I want to talk about something funny. There's a video of Harrison Ford being interviewed. I don't know quite what year it is. They're talking about how he got the role of Han Solo. And he's fixing a door, I think, this is paraphrasing what he said, fixing a door at Francis Ford Coppola's studio. And he looks up and Coppola walks in, George walks in, and some other guy walks in. And basically part of the story was they not only offered, and this is not part of the story, but I'm going to add this. They not only offered the role of Han Solo to Al Pacino and he shot it down, they actually really did consider Christopher Walken to be Han Solo. They also auditioned not only Sylvester Stallone for the part, they auditioned Richard Dreyfuss. You know, it's like, what? Wait, what? And I love Richard Dreyfuss. He's one of the most interesting guys in Hollywood. He's just a really cool guy. He's intellectually honest, which in this day and age, for that profession, is really hard to find. And he's one of those guys that you just want to hang out and talk to. Stallone would have sucked. Come on. Don't be stupid. God, Sylvester Stallone. Duh. How much you gonna pay me? Duh. Just a minute. Kojak! Life of owning a shepherd. He's on guard right now. And I think he's probably growling and barking at... Listen to him. He's barking at... Kojak! You know, he's normally not a loud dog. Coach! Come here. Come on. Get over here. Come on. He just sits in the window and watches out the window. No, he wouldn't have been. No, he would have. He wasn't right for that role. And, you know, there are actors that are meant to be, that could probably do a lot of different roles. You know, and no, Kojak is named for his parents, not him. But Sylvester Stallone is definitely not. Coach! Come on! Get over here, you bum. Come on, come. Come. All right, come here. Come here, you idiot. He's like, I'm trying to protect you, Mommy. They were taking our garbage. They're actually probably taking recycling now, but he's... Yesterday during the rainstorm, we had the remnants of Hurricane Ida go through, and we got a lot of rain. The water went way high. In fact, Portage, Pennsylvania, was 40,000 people were evacuated because the dam broke. Okay. It was ugly. I mean, it was really ugly. Our retainment pond filled. Yesterday, Rudy came home early. I was down in the basement fiddling with the Blu-ray, and we heard him come in, so I went upstairs following the dog. And all of a sudden, I heard growling and barking. Oh, ick, that's gross. Growling and barking at Daddy. Daddy's in his rain suit, his Marine Corps rain suit. Coach did not recognize him at all. He was losing his shit. I started laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. It was the funniest thing ever. I'm going to scare the shit out of this dog on Halloween. If they sell the crow masks at Target, I'm getting one. Because this thing you put over your head and it's got a big beak, I'm going to wear it. I'm going to get one and I'm going to wear it. And it's going to be funny as shit. He's going to lose his mind. You know, so yeah, Richard Dreyfuss. When I think of all the people that tried out for the Han Solo role, every one of them was inappropriate but Harrison Ford. Every one of them. Christopher Walken? What? You know, then we had, you know, Willie Ames and some other blondies try out for Luke. And those were actually more appropriate. And the lead singer of Berlin, who was only 16 at the time, actually tried out for Leia. Her audition is on YouTube. And I'm going to tell you guys. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. If you watch it, it's on YouTube. She's scared to death. She's actually trying out with Harrison. She's going through the lines with him, and she's like this. Deer caught in headlights. You look at Carrie Fisher's, and she's like, typical Carrie, typical. It's great, but it's the when you see the backstories and everything, and I did not know that Richard Dreyfuss had actually tried out for Solo. The only actor that I know of that would have done at least a competent job of playing Han Solo that isn't Harrison Ford is Kurt Russell. That's it. Kurt Russell would have been fine. I probably wouldn't have been as into the character as I was, but he still would have been a top notch better than anybody else. All right. But there you go. But anyway, I just want to say that yeah, there is going to be a lot of shit coming down the road, and I'm gonna point at Pablo Hidalgo and say he's probably behind it. He has been called out on Reddit for doing a lot of shit. Now, Kurt Russell isn't as tall as Harrison Ford. He's not. I think Russell's only 6 feet tall. Hey, Space Windu. Well, Juliana Moore being a redhead with blue eyes kind of ruins it for Leia. And now they really don't have to recast if they're going to deep fakes and de-aging. So I really don't expect to ever see these characters recast. They don't need to be. As long as Lucasfilm owns the images and they can, if you've got access to interviews and BTS and all the rest of the stuff like they do, sky's the limit on what they can use. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the thing is, it's really interesting, George Lucas, how much he absolutely loved that character. And I think part of the reason why he was so adamant that Han get a happy ending along with everybody else is because he loved the characters as much as the fans. And it should have been an idea in people's heads that if we fuck this up, the fans are going to hate us. They fucked it up, the fans hate them. But you've got fans that, for whatever reason, don't really want to believe in anything anymore, and we know who they are. We got another contingent of fans who just not only live to create drama with the story group and amongst other franchise players, but they also like to create drama amongst the fandom. And then we got people like us who are just like, we just want good Star Wars. We want what we love to be respected and carried on. The fact of the matter is, this generation who thinks the world revolves around them needs a Han, Leia, and Luke. They need them. All right? They need their Vince Lombardis. They need their Winston Churchills. They need their, Maggie Thatchers. They need real people, and they need their fictional heroes. They need something to look up to. As much as I like the Whitney Houston song, The Greatest Love of All, I think that song's a terrible song. I think probably a prequel to A New Hope. Because between Jedi and Empire, Han was kind of indisposed. Yeah, and I think that's what every one of us do. But when you get a bunch of people together and there's jostling for power, jostling for the inside scoop, jostling for attention, you're going to get a lot of drama. and we've seen it. I'm not going to mention the girl's name, but she caused a lot of trouble. And it's always that similar group of people that does it. And my advice is to stay away from them. My advice is just to say, hey, you know what? You do you. I'm over here doing me. I don't care, And another thing, when you get to a certain point where you don't care about what other people think, that's when you actually start being authentic. And in anything you do, be it creatively, be it on YouTube, be it anywhere. Okay. And that's the thing. Star Wars forgot about that because you've got a bunch of people worried about what the SJWs think. George Lucas didn't give a shit. He didn't give a shit what anybody, thank you. He didn't give a shit about what anybody said about him and about what he was trying to do. And look what he was able to accomplish. You'd be very shocked at what you can do and what you can accomplish if you don't care what other people think. All right. And if all you want is good Star Wars, and this is bad, now we got War of the Bounty Hunters. And they bring in slutty fucking Queera, who's a shitty character, by the way. And it's like those comic books are going to be in Ollie's in 2 to 3 years, alongside the High Republic. All right? And that's not even a prediction. It's going to happen. Anyway, I got to go because I got to get ready to go do stuff. And come here, buddy. You want to say hi to everybody? Come here, baby. Here he is. Here's Koji. There he is. Kojak. Say hi. Aw. He's upset. He wants attention. So I got to go. And I'll see you guys later. Anything happens today, I'll be back around. And if I get salty with people, it's because I want you to think. Okay? I want you to step away from your emotions and think. All right? Space Windu, you haven't seen my actual pony yet. Okay? I want you to think. And the reason is this. You will see things in a far different world, in a far different way, if you start thinking about what's really going on. Which is why I tell people, when I tell you and I show you the tweet, that Pablo sent to our spy, after 20 years, I don't have any plans in particular and I don't know what hers are. You got to read between lines. What's he really mean? All right. When you see him saying, I don't follow anything that interests me, that means he's heavily involved in whatever is going on. Okay. When you see Jon Favreau lavish a little praise on Kennedy, he has to do that. When you have the Atlantic article put Kennedy in the paragraphs where it says Star Wars failed, and Jon Favreau where it says Star Wars is being saved, read between the lines. I want you to do that. I want you to think. Okay? Stop being attached to your emotions. Start thinking. Start reading. Start thinking about what words really mean and what is the context of this. Because in the next month and a half, context is going to be everything. Okay, so this is Steph signing out. I'll see you guys around the galaxy.